We always embrace change. So what has not changed? And that's how it is. So traditional business now really have to think out of the box. A lot of them, they are scared. No LinkedIn, no social media. We want to help companies to be AI enabled.
Hi everyone, welcome to Asia Business Owner Podcast, BOSS for short. With the changing economy, especially after pandemic, do you ever wonder why business lifespan is getting shorter? Do you ever wonder what causes it? Are you one of the business owners who are in the midst trying to figure a way out? Or are you intending to start your own business venture believing that everything will work out, but somehow you feel something is missing? Or do you want to start a business, however, you do not know what to go for? If you have all these questions on the list that I mentioned earlier, or many more that I have not mentioned, then we are here to fill the gap.
My name is Joe.
And then Ben.
Do follow us so that you will not miss any of our episodes, as we will be inviting successful business owners and leaders of various trades to share their knowledge, experience, and their journey on how they build, overcome, and continuously grow.
And after we just enjoyed our Christmas and we're looking forward to the new year of year 2026, or that's how far it goes. Okay, and we still continue to see a trend of AI coming forward. So today, we would like to invite an AI owner from Amplified Human to share with us how he progressed from a non-AI to a AI industry. So we have Clarence here to join us. Hello, Clarence.
Hello, hi everyone. Nice to be connected with you.
Okay, Clarence, from what I understand is that you're actually coming from a field without much of the AI knowledge, correct? And you happen to incorporate the AI technique into what you are doing right now. Might share with us what causes you to make the decision to incorporate AI into your business.
Okay, good. So thanks very much, Ben and Joe, for inviting me to this podcast. Really appreciative. First, I just give a little bit of background. I first started off my executive search in 2016. So fast forward now is coming to 10 years already. If you look at the clock and how things have moved over the last 10 years, recruitment have changed leaps and bounds in the way clients are looking to search for talent, and also candidates that are putting up their resumes for the jobs they're applying for. Over the last 10 years, we see two sides of a spectrum. Candidates have difficulties writing their resumes, and people who have instantly or suddenly lost their jobs because companies are just saying we're going to cut 2,000 staff tomorrow overnight. And they have been in the company for 10, 15 years, and they have not updated their resume 15 years and it's something new, right? And today, the trend that we are seeing now is how do we get your resume up to speed? And that's where AI can help the candidates to look at the jobs they're applying for, optimize their resumes to the job description that they are applying for. So that's where we created or started Amplified Human to help and assist one spectrum.
Actually, very interesting. You just remind me of the word Albert Einstein was once said, you can't use an old map to explore a new world. To what extent do you agree to the situation that you mentioned right now?
I think first, we have got to keep the compass and we have to relook or remodel the roads basically. Today, compass is always north, south, east, west. There will not be any changes. But at the end of the day, especially in Singapore, if you have not been traveling in a particular area and road, right, when you come back after 5 years from an overseas stink, you say, wow, that has all changed. The roads have all changed and things have moved. So if you look at places like the new estate like Tengah, for example, Tengah was actually a jungle or forest when I was army days doing training in there. And today it's all HDB flats that way. So very important. Where we are looking at is that we must always keep a very positive direction forward and be always embrace change because change is constant. 15 years ago when you're applying for a job and the 15 years ago questions that's being asked at the interview and now have changed. So you have to keep up with that change and also move forward with the trends.
I have a quick follow-up question, Clarence. So yes, change is always constant, right? Especially over the last couple of years where AI came into the space and it has actually accelerated the change, right? My question is that what will not change then, fundamentally in your industry?
Okay, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years ago, there was no WhatsApp. I think we rewind the clock on ICQ days and Skype and all, right? So I think, yeah, I just bring up a little bit of memories to let people know my age this year roughly. So that is how it is. So what has not changed? The only thing that have not changed is you still need to go to the client's office after the first online interview. They would like to see you in person, feel the pulse, and see whether you are a culture fit to the organization, right? So 50 years ago, 30 years, 20 years ago, is still interview process. Of course, some companies are using chatbots or AI bots to interview you as a first round, second round, third round. Some companies go as many as 7 rounds of interviews before you get a job, basically. But you still have to sell yourself to success. So that won't change. And today, interestingly enough, we still have candidates going for interview in short sleeve or polo t-shirt because it's Friday, it's TGI.
Serious?
So therefore, I go on a polo tee, and we had one case recently, one candidate go for interview in Bermudas. Then the HR said, wow, do you know your candidate come in Bermudas? And do you tell them the dress code? We told him it's smart casual. Then maybe ask him, is smart casual? Oh, Bermudas is smart casual, ma.
Correct,
Amazing.
correct. I got this question here. All those candidates are more on the young generation, like Gen Z it's the younger generation who did that.
Yes, the Gen Z
Okay.
ones are like that. So they said, okay. So I said, at least, you put a long sleeve shirt in your bag. When you go for interview, you finish, you change the polo tee, and then you come to office or things. At least you show lah. To the client point of view is, he's not respecting us, number one, and he's not sincere. So if you look at this, what has not changed is people still want you to dress in proper attire, not in Bermudas and in singlet lah, that way. So until to this very date in 2025, you still have candidates doing that way. So it's amazing to see that. So every time now we have to give gentle reminder to candidate, please make sure minimum a long sleeve shirt and pants. That's number one. Number two, we also share a little bit of online interviews also. Online interviews, you can see this way. You can only see me this way, right? Half and right that way. And after that, let's say, oh, okay, I'm selected for interview. So excited. Then your pen is not on the table. You have to go behind and take your pen. And guess what? You're not wearing a pants, you're in your boxer shorts. So you're walking across there, and then the hiring manager saw you in your boxer shorts. But I said, yeah, I'm dressed. I wear a shirt for the interview. But the hiring manager said, when you went to get your pen to write something on the interview date, you're in boxer shorts. So therefore, you're not selected. So very, very interesting. I always tell all candidates is whether you're going in person physical or you're online, just make sure you have your shirt and pants. No need to be on socks and shoes, whatever, but at least this is the basic attire. Yeah.
Let's all stand up to see if we're in shorts.
Yeah, so so it's a live test that we must walk the walk and talk the talk. Yeah, very, very important. Yeah, right.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, Clarence, you just were mentioning about candidates who have not updated their resume for the past few years or even 15 years down the road. So how does your AI come into picture to help them?
What we do now is that they can actually upload their resume basically or their LinkedIn profile. Now, AI is garbage in, garbage out. So if you have not updated your LinkedIn or resume and stuff like that, there's no way that it will be able to help you to optimize. So sometimes we always encourage candidates, you do a very simple write-up or say that what you're doing now, you're in company A, what's your roles and responsibilities, put a few pointers there, prompt it that way, and then finally the agent will be able to come up with a more detailed resume for you. Now, having said that, also we encourage don't cut, copy and paste lah, because there's some wording and all. There are a lot of telltale signs if it's an AI written resume, because sometimes the comma before an N, for example, That's also a telltale sign that it's AI driven. And don't do such a flamboyant resume. That means, wow, very bombastic English and all, and wow, looks so, wow, over exceeded sales target, top amplified sales leader, recognized and all, wow, so beautiful. And then you think of such a beautifully written resume, I'm able to get a job. Not true, because you have written it so well written, then hiring manager say, is too good to be true also lah, based on your years of service that way. So I think the AI side is a good enabler to assist, but not cut, copy, and paste everything. So once you have that framework, you should also massage it and tailor-made it to your basic requirements.
Okay, so in fact, I would say that these days, a lot of business owners capitalize on AIs to help them out on their business. So how does AI help, right, in your field?
Okay, so one example on HR is end of the year, December. I'm always envy my friends. I mean, I'm sure we are all on Facebook account, right? This gentleman will be in Korea and then in Japan. Wow, 10, 100 photos and stuff like that, right? So what happens is mostly everyone wants to take leave end of the year. Right. Also, reasons for that because it's more cooling unless you're down under, different, and that's how it is. And what happens is there's always a bottleneck. What is the bottleneck? In every organization, they hire human, they hire people, right? You have to look into appraisals, year-end salary increments, forecasting and stuff like that this way. So what happens we look at now is that because the movements of staff and employees now is typically is a few years. We won't say how many years, a few years that way. And sometimes the managers that are guiding or mentoring this person has already left. Appraisals were done, but nothing to follow up. And this gentleman has been there for 4 years. Is he due for a promotion in 2026, for example? So we could create an appraisal agent for them that say, these are all your employees, this is appraisal that's done. This is your scoring, for example. Share with me whether is this gentleman going to be promoted? If yes, what grade will he be, for example? But of course, you will need to work with the client on a knowledge base, the company handbook, the policies, the promotional grades and stuff like that. So that's one thing. So the HR side is one. Number two, also, some of the companies, right, when they post a job, they will receive about 100 resumes. All right. No matter how fast you click on the resume, it takes you about 30 seconds, 30 seconds. I mean, for me, some of them I take 5 seconds because if I'm looking for diploma in electronics and this guy is diploma in pharmaceutical or whatever, so I just close off the resume. So I've been trained doing that for 10 years already. So with the kind of AI agent, they can just upload that resumes there and the job description and say, based on my job description, based on my company profile, based on this 100 resumes, please tell me or give me the top 3 that is most suitable and why. And you can rank it also. So that's two classic examples. So that will actually help the HR team to improve the productivity and also based on the statistics that report there to be able to share with the hiring manager why out of the 100 they chose 3. Of course, at 3, you have to still call and qualify a candidate. To call and qualify a candidate will take anything between 10 to 30 minutes. So if you have 3 candidates, assuming it's 30 minutes, it will be 90 minutes. But based on the AI algorithm that we help the client, the workflow, it helps to streamline that way. So time to market will be faster. Finding the right talent will be a higher percentage that way.
Okay, I have a quick question, Clarence. So is this like ATS but incorporating AI into the ATS?
You can do that. So what happened is that we're working with clients, basically. Main thing is that they must have an API. So we are working with maritime shipping companies. They use a system called Compass. So with Compass, there's an API linked to them, and they're looking at seafarers, career progression, searching for seafarers and things like that. So with that, they will do a prompt. I'm looking for this seafarer, progression, what search needed, etc., and things like that way. So importantly is must have the API. We are working very closely with SGX listed company now. Budget will only be out. They only have the budget approved only next year, February. So they have also asked us to create an agent, a talent agent for them to read through the resumes and stuff like that. That's one. Number 2, also, people come, people go. And a lot of knowledge, I always notice, having been corporate for so many years, right? generally people use a service or info email or inquiry email, right? And all those issues that's been resolved is always in the email. So people come, people go, you guys come in. Yeah, you can read the menu, but the menu is only a certain extent, right? So the problem has been resolved already. It's already residing the email. So some clients say, can you create an agent to read the email and then say, okay, this is the LED red light one that's issue. What is the solution? Then they can summarize the emails that were sent earlier and say this is the solution. So to the service engineer point of view, for example, the learning curve will be very, very much faster than you tell him that, hey, you have to go in and then you have to go on site training and stuff like that. But through that, it's just 30 seconds, you get the answer.
Okay, Clarence, with the AI application, you actually started in year 2016 or just recent year?
Okay, for executive search, I started in January 2016. For the AI one, I just started in 2025 this year because we see this as a huge trajectory, projection, and requirements a lot of companies have. And you will be very surprised. I've done 6 months of my round speaking to a lot of companies. I don't want to mention names. They are still using Excel spreadsheets created 15 years ago, running on macros. And the macros have all broken already, but they're still using for calculation, for sales figures and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see in certain companies basically they have this. Yeah.
So after application of AI into your system, does it really help in your effectiveness in terms of screening candidates?
Yeah. So like what I mentioned to you, what we can do is that any number of candidates are given to us, we can just put into our Amplified Human, say based on these 10 resumes, this is a JD, tell me which is most suitable and why. So rather than we go through the 100, like what I mentioned to you, if you take 30 seconds to click on one resume times 100, that's the time taken. But you take 100, you upload with the JD, the system will come out or the AI will come out with you within a minute and they will even rank for you even better also. So that's how we look at it. So we also created a telemerge sourcing agent as well, where we can upload a job description, then they reach out to candidates that come back. But that is work in progress. We are doing some testing there, and if the agent works so well, I think I'm shooting my foot in the other leg because the executive search may not have so much business in time to come.
Very interesting. Now, do you think that many traditional businesses will be phased out with more human resource channel into those popular and high yielding segment like AI?
I think AI is an enabler. We should look at AI as like a PA, as something that is able to help us. And this AI assistant no need to have 14 days annual leave and 14 days of medical leave. All right. Yeah. So that's what it is. So at night, at 11 p.m., you prompt the agent and say, "Hey, I need 2 seafarers that needs to go on this bulk carrier on this Saturday. Let me know which on the date." Prompt, it goes to the database and it comes back and they give you the reply and stuff like that way. So I think if you really look at the trends now, really, really strong trends now coming. Companies now, if you look at Singapore now, is one of the places a lot of companies want to come or bring talent to come in now. And they want to set up companies in Singapore. So how is the shift that is coming along? So what we're seeing, the shift is certain roles they are moving to Philippines, to China, and also to across the causeway now, JB, right? For various reasons, costing and stuff like that, right? So we are working with a particular ship owner, for example, talking about payroll and sanctions, for example. So they have a few thousand seafarers. And to do that payroll versus that sanction KYC 6 used to take them 72 hours, now take them 8 hours. So if we create agent for them, they just upload a spreadsheet of the seafarers and then they say, tell me this seafarer list, the bank and the country. Is there anyone that is on sanction? If yes, and why? Question mark. You prompt it that way, right? And then you go, come out. So you go to your pantry, take one coffee, come out. Oh, done, finish. So that is
Interesting.
yeah. So for having 10 of these payroll executives now, you can only have 2, and these 2 are AI driven, and their task to do it is much more efficient than 8 hours basically. So the time to market is very fast, and that's how it is. So traditional business now, really have to think out of the box. Like, for example, if you want to find a customer service assistant, you want to do reservations, enquiries, and things like that, right? On your website, you do a prompt, you search what are available dates and so on and so forth. Then you have already saved one cost of finding an admin staff. Not say I'm not encouraging that, but because you want to find good talent in this kind of sector a bit more challenging, and SMEs, if you want to talk about S pass quota, very difficult.
Okay, for the benefit of our audience, what would be the or one or two question probably the business owner would ask on candidates, which is very much different from the past?
Okay, now we are looking at for 2025 and onwards. We talk about fresh grads, for example. Let's say you graduate from University A. You have to be very careful. University A, and you got University B and C. They're also top universities in Singapore. All first class honors. Why should I hire you versus your competitor from University B and C? What is the difference? Because all are first class honors students, top students basically. So let's say you go for the Big Fours and you sit in for an interview. And today the Big Fours hiring for fresh grads have also dropped by a certain number because they can use an AI agent to create analytics basically. So I always rewind the clock when I was in corporate days. When we engage the Big Fours, they always have a team of 10, 8 to 10 that comes. And they say, wow, why so many? Oh, this one come in, that one come in. This one is just started with my company. They're coming in, and also they take a long process to do audit, for example. So could you imagine if this candidate comes in and go to Big Four, say, I've created an audit agent for you. And with the audit agent, all your client needs to do is put in the bank statements, give us a link to the API to the ERP system, and then invoices, and then your P&L and the balance sheet. And then you can actually churn out and say, is there any red flags to look at, basically, for example. So we are training students now to create their own agentic AI agent. So you won't be surprised at time to come, candidates will bring their laptop or their iPad and say, okay, why you select me? Mr. So-and-so, you select me because I bring to you this value add, which means I can create agents for you.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Wow. In the matter of fact, if you ask me, I think that employment this day is very much different from the past few years, I would say. And any candidate equipped with AI knowledge probably will have their advantage. Am I right to say that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Joy and I was asking about this question last week, like, will there be any difference in skill set needed for a job seeker to equip in their 20s and compared to the 40s and above? Especially when we talk about like big career changes.
Yeah, because I'm 40s.
Yeah. So like what I mentioned at the start of the podcast, people are not wanting to find jobs because if you are a certain large MNC or organization, you have been there for the last 10, 15 years, you are in your comfort zone already. But all of a sudden, big companies, I think you see every other week now, you talk about ExxonMobil, they say, I'm going to close a plant next year in March. So could you imagine the number of people there, that plant will be finding jobs, right? And they're oil and gas. Are they going to apply to Deutsche Bank, DBS Bank, but apply as what, basically? They can't be a teller, they can't be a private banker or whatever, right? So the skills gap is very, very different. So then this group of people, we actually came up with a skills gap analysis agent in our website, that whereby the candidates can actually upload their resume or their LinkedIn profile and say, these are my skills gap. What am I going to look at? How am I going to do it? And stuff like that, basically. So that's what we can do. And then from the skills gap, it's a 10 over page report. You can try later as well at your free time. You'll tell you what are your skills gap that you're lacking. And you say, I'm going to look for a job. I'm hearing my company is going to shut down next year in March. what should I do next? So those who are in their 40s or even the 30s now, we are seeing them being disrupted as well. All right. And when we rewind the clock 10 or 15 years back, the people who only be disrupted are in their 50s. I'm 50 this year. Right, are going to be disrupted, right? So people say, yeah, worry about 50 plus again now. If nothing, we go through 65, get my retirement pension fund, zhao liao, done already. But the disruption is getting earlier and earlier. And what we are seeing candidates, they are always resting on their laurels. They're not doing anything. They just say, okay, lor, come in, day out. I'm doing the same process, write some emails, follow process and done that way. So the upskilling that the government has always advocated, SkillsFuture, is so important because they've given us a few $1,000s each person, not for the sake of giving, because they see this disruption coming. And they are telling all of us, please plan ahead because you do not know what is the future because we are in a VUCA world. Yeah, so that's how it is. So very, very important. So I always encourage, especially year end, take on some courses, AI courses. It could be marketing, like take CapCut and stuff, something of interest to you that you should have it as another skill set in your resume when you're applying for a job. So for instance, I say creating a agentic AI agent. So if you are a salesperson, you come in into sales, you say, oh, I'm able to do social media, do marketing for you, create campaigns for you. That's added on. That means you're sales, but along the way, you can also help to create marketing content for the company, which is another plus point that way, or you're able to do events and things like that. So I think that's so important. So of course, the 20s now, also challenging for them. If you read recently, there's a traineeship program that is being provided by the government. I think so far, very rare. I've heard of it, traineeship. The big universities, the top universities, graduates coming out, unfortunately, they can't find jobs. Today, we talk about the in trend now is low code, no code.
Vibe coding kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's how it is. If you want to create a website, you hire a web developer, or do you use lovables.dev? DV, right? So you go to lovables.dev, you program, I want to create a website, BOSS, this is what I want to do, I want to put this feature, enter, done. So do you really need a web developer? Because you create, then you change and all. So recently, I went to Conferry for an event as well. They showed us certain prompts, certain platforms as well. Or they need to do a prompt, and finally they click create. All the coding coming up, even though before you get the copy come back, the coding is already done for you. That's step one. They say, hey, I don't think I want to have this. I want to tweak this parameters, right? I said, can you change this for me? Enter. Again, the code change for you automatically. You can use the code. But if you use a programmer or developer to develop code, say, I want you to create this. It will take me, please come back in a week or 2 times.
Okay.
I actually tried Replit. Yeah, I actually tried Replit, and I think I was very amazed by it.
Yeah. So there's so many platforms now. AI, like I just mentioned that level there for websites. You have Google AI Studio. Of course, we have Amplified Human. We use bringing all the LLMs that comes in basically. So in our platform also, what we do is that when you click on the prompt, when you download the app later, you have the options of choosing GPT 5.1, 4, Cloudy, DeepSeek, and a whole list of LLMs. So what we do is if you don't like the response from GPT 4.1 or GPT 5, then you change to another LLM that comes in. So that's also available for any users to use now. So we don't restrict the users to a particular LLM. They have a flavor of as well. Yeah.
So ideally, for any company are looking towards a suitable candidate, they are more likely to choose a candidate with multiple skill set and knowledge. Am I right to say that?
Because these days is employer market now. It has changed really. I mean, depending on which sector. For F&B retail, I think they're still looking for a lot of talent that way. But when I was at the age of 16, I remembered I was doing pantry, and then my whole white shirt was all black with curry sauce wherever and stain and stuff. But today, not many would like to join the F&B or retail because it's a Saturday and Sunday work days and it's not off days. So there is sectors are still always looking, but they can't find that young talent come. Certain sectors, where you talk about large organizations, where they have a huge coding department and stuff like that, developing or getting certain AI tools or agents that can actually reduce from a team of maybe 100 to 20. So that's what we see that trend now.
Okay, after we talk about so much about AI and the advantage itself, how come a lot of SME here in Singapore are still not really ready to apply to their organizations?
A lot of them, they are scared, they are fearful, they don't know how to use, and then they say, hey, if I put my data in ChatGPT now, and then I say this is my revenue now, and then how do I grow next year? Then I'm training the cloud, then the cloud will know SMEA, my revenue and stuff like that, which is not wrong because you are putting up your information up to them. And that's how it is. Or if I have my client database now, I upload, and then where is this going and stuff. So the fear is the knowledge, the privacy, the PDPA. Where is this information going? That's number one. And number two, also, even though we do quite a few workshops, the way I just attended one workshop recently also at Conferry. Interesting enough, the words used by this trainer is even prompt engineering has to be trained. Has to be trained basically because of them say, okay, like for example, I say, please, these are 10 resumes versus a job description, for example, right? These are the 10, and this is the JD, for example. Then what's your prompt? Please tell me which candidate suitable, question mark. Then, of course, the AI agent, okay, this is candidate suitable. You have to put a different prompt. Based on the job description, my company is a boss. We are looking for a talented marketing executive with social media 2 years of experience, for example. Please select the most suitable candidate and why. So your prompt becomes longer, and when the reply comes back, it more tailor-made to what you are looking for versus please select a suitable candidate and why. So
So you mentioned earlier it's like garbage in, garbage out, right? So the prompt is actually very important.
Yes. Yeah, the prompt is very important. So you can try basically to same data in, let's say you put the resumes in with the JD, and then you put that prompt that way, and then you change the prompt to ask that way. The results are totally different. So that's how we look at that way. And
Sorry, Clarence, I'm just curious. Would that be like sort of misleading if the candidate is smart in a way to input some not so truth information?
There's always human beings, there's always different ways. You have this issue or this challenge, they will think of another way. So one classic example is a lot of companies, they block the USB for you to download data and stuff. So yeah, how to download that? If you rewind the clock back then, we used to have CD, read write and all, right? So you can put CD, read write, you get the data out and stuff. So a lot of this funny thing going on. So yes, you can block this USB, whatever, but are you able to block this company email to send to a private email or whatever? If you cannot block that way, that means the email is sent to the private email. You still have your data out from there. So what's the private email? That guy can download already. So that's one example, right? So coming back to this, you can cheat, you can bluff, you can smoke, but the 10, 20, 50 years interview in person has not changed. So you can have a very flamboyant resume. You get your step, a foot in the door. Then he will look at your resume and he look at you. Sure not. Are you Clarence? Oh, yes. But you write this in the resume? Oh, yeah. But can you explain a bit? You say your sales revenue went up. You joined the company, you overachieved 200%. Share with me what's your sales target and how much you achieved. You cannot answer, correct? Because your sales target was 500,000, you only achieved 300,000. So you don't achieve by 200%, but you tell the AI to optimize your resume based on a very flamboyant sales, whatever. Thank you, Clarence. YMCA lah. You may come again. You're out of the door. So you can smoke yourself to go in, but at the end of the day, you will still falter at your in-person interview. And that's the whole idea of in-person physical interview that way. So with the AI side, normally, like what I mentioned to you, if you got 50, 100 resumes that come in with the job description, then based on the filter, I would say, give me the top 5 ranking ones, then the HR will start to call. And that's where the qualifying process comes along. So with the qualifying process on the phone or online, like now we are doing now, and then say, doesn't really match with people, then we exit lah. It's always easier to exit on an online interview than an in-person lah. Because when someone comes to the office already, right, wow, 老远过来 already, from Sengkang come to my office in Raffles Place, then come already, not right already. What 5 minutes later, I want to say, wow, this is not the candidate lah. He's AI written resume on. Please move on, right? But paiseh also, right? Come from Sengkang here. Okay lah, we talk the dialogue, 15, 20 minutes all, but the objective or at the end of the interview still the same, not selected. So you wasted half an hour, 1 hour because he's here already.
Okay. Now, after all the question about AI and how the candidate going to get selection and so on, now let's move on the question toward more on the business owner side. Now, as a business owner that you are, and from a non-knowledge of AI that you shifted to the AI industry to help up your business, how do you do it without the basic knowledge of IT?
There's always the Nike slogan, right? The Nike slogan only have 3 words. Just do it.
Nice.
I'm not trying to promote Nike here in this podcast, but I always like to learn from these big organizations and how they came up with these 3 words and all. I was very thankful in a way because I developed another product called Vervic, video resume, video testimonials. And in 2021, because COVID, you cannot do in-person interview, right? So I told candidates to upload their video resumes. One of the reasons we stopped doing it in January this year is because a lot of candidates are camera shy. They don't want to do video resume. So if I were to ask 2 gentlemen here, Joe and Ben, will you do a video resume for a job?
Oh, we'll do it, trust me.
So different league, right? You will do it.
It reminds me of there's a movie, right? Robert De Niro. Is it Robert De Niro, the intern? So he
Yeah.
record. I don't know whether you have watched the movie. So he's in his 60s, retired, but then
Yeah.
he joined a startup, a fashion startup, and they're looking for an intern. Then he did a video resume and sent it across to them.
Correct. Yeah. So that was what we thought of because we were working with Nasdaq companies then, and then we cannot do physical interviews during COVID that time. So we created this product. I've done my rounds in the different IHLs, and always after a workshop, I say, okay, class, this is half an hour workshop, over to you to do your video resume. And I just share you, no need for you to guess the statistics. Out of a class of between 20 to 30, only 2 or 3 will do it. And the 2 or 3 will do it because there's NTUC voucher. Yeah. So
next time I think you better offer a go bar. I think I will do it.
yeah. Now the goal price is a 4,002. I guarantee you the whole class will do it. Yeah. Right? 4,002. Yeah. I think the goal has got up 60%, 70% this year already. Yeah, you're right. So that's the thing there. So if we look at these trends now, for some reasons, candidates are not willing to do. So therefore, we look at it and we have Amplified Human and have an option for people to upload their video resume if they want, basically. So coming back to this, like your first question was, what has changed? Nothing has changed 20, 30 years ago on resume. 2 sides of an A4 paper, roughly, we call it that way. I always like to call it 2 sides of an A4 paper. So that's the thing. It's only those days you use typewriter, you have to do liquid paper, right? Type and then whatever. So from typewriter to electronic typewriter, you can still got a chance to go back and then whatever to a Word document. And now you can create, and now you have your AI written resume, which not many I see under today. Very interestingly, even from European country, all coming, the resume is wow, it's not that fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think the problem that you're trying to solve is basically to help company to ease the candidate selection at the same time shortening the time in selection as well.
Yeah, correct. So in both sides, basically, candidates can optimize their resume, but we always tell them to make sure once you have the framework there, please massage it to your requirements or to your flavor. Don't just lock, stock, barrel, cut, copy, and paste. That's the first thing. All right. For the employer side, I think they will be able to go through a much faster process, time to market basically. And of course, most companies If you hire 1,000 or 500 staff, right, you will never have 50 or 100 HR personnel lah. Never will happen. So let's say you're hiring 1,000, you may have only a team of 10, 15, for example, right? So year end, the HR say, wow, this department, that department also want to hire. Oh, then they got appraisal and stuff. So the HR is always overwhelmed, burn out year end basically, because appraisal, salary increment, promotion, and then year end, people take bonus, yeah, all chow liao. The team manager, oh, this department 50 requirement, that one another 20. Oh, siao, jialat already. So what you do? You have to post the job, post. Then your managers will still keep asking you, how I'm letting the sales manager know my guy already resigned, leaving, serving notice now. To now you don't give me CV. What's the situation? Whatever. Then it said, oh, now the sales director is saying now no salesperson, then I can't do the job, whatever. So HR will be under pressure, you have to post here, post there, and then you already pray very hard, you get the right candidate that comes in. But sometimes when you post, we also notice that one candidate will apply for all our job, basically. Any job.
Exactly.
Just I always like to use the very classic case. If you're staying at the east or the west side of Singapore, if your office is in town, from your home MRT down to town is 45 minutes. You can quick apply and send out 100 resume already.
Wow.
And 100, you pray hard that out of the 101, your durian drop and you get it lah. And the best thing, some candidate also, I'm applying for A-Boss, then is B-Boss, C-Boss, D-Boss companies. Cover letter is still for A-Boss also. Dear Mr. Ben, I'm applying for this job. I'm not Mr. Ben, I'm Clarence, I'm B-Boss. Then
Provided that they are using your software, am I right to say that?
No, they are using their own, they already came up with their own resume and a cover letter already. There are a few job portals, the common ones like Careers Future, JobStreet, ever. So they just see the jobs, they just do quick apply, very easy. Or you go
basically.
Yeah. So it's just like another photocopier machine printing out your resumes, but in electronic format, and hopefully that you get something or selected that way. Yeah.
Hey, Karen, I got these interesting questions that suddenly pop out of my mind. Yours is more on candidate selection kind of thing. What happened if we talk about like people from finance industry, insurance industry? Do you think that your application helps? Okay, if we are looking for policy supplier, we'll look at the candidate. Maybe this one is a better choice. Then I will interview this insurance agent. Does it work?
Yeah. So what happens is we do both sides basically. So one side I want to mention to you is the candidates, helping them optimize their resumes and all, because we see a lot of candidates until today they can't write good resumes. So it's a helping enabler for them. The other part, like what you mentioned, is we are able to create dedicated agentic AI agents for our clients. So, for instance, you talk about this, let's say insurance company A, for example. I have this, maybe there are quite a number of people that's applying for this job, a lot of fresh graduates. Then based on that, based on my job description, so we say insurance job sourcing agent, right? Then you just upload those 20 resumes and they say, this is what I'm looking for. Someone very dynamic, got a fire in the belly, willing to chong or whatever one. So which is out the 20 or 30, which is the one basically. So we are able to help clients to create these agents for them based on a consultancy basis. So you're right. Any client, or for example, someone who wants to do customer service, reservations, have a prompt agent as a background, we are able to assist basically. Yeah.
But how about customer side? Let's say, for example, I'm the customer looking for someone to serve me. Does it able to apply at the same time?
That's why we have to really discuss on what is your process procedure, and the other thing is also what is available knowledge in the outside lah. I mean, just example, we created a tailor sourcing agent. We will reach out and source and get candidates provided the content is outside, like LinkedIn or other job portals. But if this gentleman is a passive seeker, no LinkedIn, no social media, have not put the resume out at all, there's no way we can find him.
I have one question I wanted to ask on behalf of all the SME owners. Does your solution have grant or not?
Recently, the government has came out with this ECI grant, the Enterprise Compute Initiative grant. So the ECI grant, the criteria actually is to have at least 10 staff. So sometimes the SME side, they may not meet that requirement basically. And the ECI grant gives consultancy up to 150,000, and that 400,000 is for cloud credit basically. So, but out of the 150,000, the company has got to pay 30%, which is about 45,000 of the 150,000 for consultancy basically. So, but that consultancy or the ECI grant will end 31st of March 2026, which is very soon, in a few months' time. So that is how it is. Along the way, of course, the government's always coming up with new initiatives, basically. And so far, what we understand is this ECI grant because they want to make sure companies are all AI driven or have some AI element in it, basically.
Okay. Now, let's shift back to a topic on business owner that we like to do a lot of networking activities and so on. So given the AI ability to provide, so many answer and exposure, even on social media, social media are also using AI. I think some part of it you know, right? Yes. So do you think that networking still is as essential?
That is so important until today, right? It's very, very important. And I always believe we talk about the Romans bath. There's a place in the UK called Bath, BATH, Bath. Huh? So when I was a student there, I visited Bath, and how people network is based on the ointments in a big area of pool, and then you have the slaves fanning like sauna. Huh? The fire comes out and also very interesting. That was many years concept that way. And that was how networking business was being established. Those days there was no handphone, no pager, no nothing, whatever. So recently people were asking, do you know what's a pager or call zone phone? Or I say, yeah, my days lah, pager and call zone. Pagers will only be used by emergency personnel and also doctors where beep, 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 beep. Then after that, you go to the phone. Hello. Those days, you say, tangkap pager.
Jangka pager.
Tangkap pager. Those days. Today, if you are tangkap pager means, I think you must be in the dinosaur age already. So that's it. Today is what's up. How can I help you? Okay. So that has changed that way. So very, very importantly, we have to see on all this, the way the trends to move. That's how we look at it.
Okay. Now, Karen, in short and simple sentences, how would you explain or clarify the future for AI?
The future of AI will stay. It is an enabler for any company, any individual. My son at 10 years old is using ChatGPT. So sometimes I watch over him and say, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm on ChatGPT. I'm asking questions and stuff. So I didn't teach him to use ChatGPT. My elder son at 13, he's in my office working, and some define me as child labor, which is not. I've cleared with MOM. At 13, he can work admin job basically. And he will be helping me to create agentic AI agents. And we want to share with the community and with and all that. It's not that you must graduate from STEM or an engineering degree before you're able to create an agent. Because if a young boy like him at 13 can create your own agentic AI agent, then that's where we look at that way. So it's going to be an enabler. It will be here to stay and it will move. I was listening to Money FM while driving to work today. Today, Mr. Ong Yi Kang, the health minister, is no longer talking about how should we manage healthcare and stuff like that. He's talking about preventive healthcare now. That means before anything happens, they are able to say whether you are having this problem. So I was listening to this gentleman was speaking, I can't remember the name, and they have certain number of patients, and with the patient's data, they're able to say, okay, based on this data, what are the chances in 2-3 years you also have this diabetes, type 2 and stuff like that basically. So with that prompt, they say, okay, well, based on this thing, you should change your lifestyle and so forth. That's what you should do, and you should actually reduce on your whatever intake, your rice and stuff like that way. So this is AI driven now for healthcare. So when we look at it now, we are aging population. 1 in 4, 65. Maybe in few years time, 1 in 3. Then during my time and your time, maybe hopefully not 1 in 2. 1 in 2 means, hey brother, what's it? What's up, that way. Because with all this preventive medication and all, the longevity will move and will be much faster. I mean, much longer. And of course, the retirement age still 65, 67. But what I mentioned earlier in the podcast also is that people who are in the 50s now are getting displaced, right? So at 50s, 55, if your runway is 85, you got 30 years of runway to go based on even though you say based on $1,000, most basic lah, go NTUC, buy stuff and here and there, you still have to have 12 times 1,000 times 30, which is not possible to run at 1,000 these days lah.
Okay, now looking ahead at year 2026, what is the resolution that you are having for your company?
We want to help companies to be AI enabled. Very, very important. We are having some courses training with a polytechnic. Actually, the first week of January, we are all packed. Training university students, STEM, non-STEM. I'm speaking to Lingnan University by the invite from SMU for the Chinese students that comes in. And also with this poly and all this poly is actually working with SME owners, Tauges as well, to see how they can actually create AI agents to move. So my vision mission is let's help all of us because it's a challenging world. You see companies, even the East Ocean, Teochew, after 33 years, is closing on the 28th of December. You see 12 Cupcakes gone. And of course, a lot more. We went on to name them, but even people who have been awarded Michelin star after 2 weeks later also close and things like that. So why is that so? Running businesses, there are two costs, CapEx and OpEx, right? So if you already start up your restaurant, to renovate a very nice restaurant, you need at least 200,000 to $500,000 with all your kitchen, your layout, whatever stuff, right? So you need that kind of money. So that's your CapEx really. Then your OpEx, your running costs. So if you can have an AI agent to take customer inquiries, reservations and stuff, of course your chef, it's time to come, you have a robo chef lah. You put in there, break chao fan, chao kway teow, you click, the thing will cook for you that way, and then come out. Even in primary school now, the canteens now, they face challenge finding operators who would want to have sell a fishball noodle at, I remember those our days, 50 cents, 60 cents. Now, my son, I give him this money, he said, Papa, not enough. Every day need already $2, $3 already, or plus a drink already $4 in the school canteen. So this is the challenge that is faced. So now, primary school canteens now, they have central kitchens, or maybe they work with sets now to come up with, okay, what menu you want, bento set, whatever. Then morning, they will deliver what you order and stuff anyway. So this is the change that we are seeing now, and we definitely want to work with companies. We will have some training or some workshops to share with SMEs that we should have done. Recently, we've done one with at Paya Square, with a partner basically lah. And then he invited quite a number of business owners to come basically. So yes, for ABOS side, if you are looking for some AI solutions for your community, then we can share in one session, whichever, of course you can do online, which is the best, but I still feel in person is better lah, because after the event, you can have a chat, we talk or whatever, because now online, say thank you very much, Ben and Joe, all the best, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, done, and then that's correct. Of course, I know both of you, but again, can I get your email, your contact and stuff like that? No chance, ma. So coming back to this question on networking, so important. And when we look at companies now that we're working with, they always want to find very good salespeople. The challenge here to find good salespeople is most salespeople are not salespeople now. They are order takers.
Order takers.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
I think that will be another topic we'll be discussing next year already. Yeah.
So networking, to summarize, is very, very important, because if you are in a networking event, and through this networking event, it's just a very classic example. I attended a networking event, organized, and I got to know Ben at this event. That's how we have this podcast. So just one real case example, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know Ben before. Through the event that I got to know you. Hi, nice meeting you. I'm Clarence, I'm Ben. Oh, okay. Can we exchange a card? Let's talk about it. Yeah, so that's one example. So I think to the audience who was watching this podcast, seeing is believing. And one classic example is this.
Okay. Now, I'll summarize the whole session again. I would say that Clarence had a very interesting idea to help candidates and company in order to match make. I would say that I use the word match make easily so that there can be more or less like a happily ever after. At the same time, are more efficient and time saving in terms of the HR process. Okay. Then I would like to see more in terms of the effort that you're putting in and hope that you can solve more people problem. Yeah, but at the same time, I'd like to know also that if there are any potential business owner or candidate who would like to have some collaboration work, how would you like to be contacted?
Okay, they can actually, after this phone call, I can send you my business card. Basically, you can share with any SME bosses or candidate. Basically, we're always open to assist that way. That's the first thing. So, the primary business for Amplified Human is HR related. But along the way, we have spoken to a few companies and they have told us to create specific agents for various other use cases like finance. Some of them, they are using very traditional Excel spreadsheets. So in the morning, the CFO have to crunch the 10 spreadsheets and link together everything. And it's always a challenge that way. And what they're looking at is how do they want to use an agent to match everything together. So that's another thing to look at as well. So yes, so there are various use cases that we can work with the SME bosses. So HR is one aspect. The other aspect I mentioned to you is looking through all the email service and then from there summarize it and come up with the solution. So the time to market or the time to train this service engineer will be just a snap of finger because he's able to do it now.
Okay, thank you very much for today's sessions. And with that,
Thank you,
we would like to
Clarence.
wish you a happy year 2026 ahead, and more people will be able to get their dream job through your services.
Thank you very much, Ben and Joe.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Clarence.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you. Bye.
bye bye.